Also, most people think that they are broke because they are unlucky or because of, they're born like that, right? They're born into poverty or they're born to be poor, right? In all reality, a big part of it is because you choose to stay comfortable all the time, right? The cost of being comfortable and the cost of always trying to be in the most comfortable situation is what's keeping you broke, guys. It's what's keeping you poor. It's what's keeping you from not going out there and making money, right? The reason why successful people go and seek discomfort is because that's where growth is, right? That's where growth is and that's where money is, right? If you go out there and you purposely are seeking discomfort and you're purposely seeking growth and you're purposely seeking things that make you feel uncomfortable and they make you feel maybe a little stressed or a little bit of the unknown, that's where growth is and that's where money is, guys. That's where you go out and you become successful. That's where you go out and you make something of yourself, right? But if you're only sitting there and trying to stay comfortable, right? You're trying to, stay in the comfort of your own bed and, not have to go travel or go and, do things that you've never done before. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship, right? I was 18 years old. 2018, I started a company, or I joined into a company that was teaching people how to trade, right? And I liked it. In the first year, maybe like the first year or 2 years, I just traded and I just didn't talk to nobody, X, Y, and Z. I wrote down on my notebook and I just started learning it, right? But then became an opportunity for me to actually become a marketer, right? To become somebody who's speaking, to become somebody who goes out there and, you know, helps other people get started as well, right? So this was like 2 years in, and I remember that I was thrown into doing a speaking event. It was at my own house. Thrown into doing a speaking event. It was my first speaking event, but there was like 30 people there. 30 people I didn't know, and I was more or less scared shitless to go up and even talk for, I think it was like 3 minutes. All I had to do was go up there and talk for 3 to 5 minutes, but I was scared shitless. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm born like that in a way, or I'm born into, some people are born leaders, some people are born into helping others, and they have that that urgency to help others. I'm not saying that you should go out there and you should go and do public speaking, or you should go out there and start, doing stuff like that, because that's not for everybody, obviously. But take this and twist it into your own profession, twist it into what you actually want to do in life, right? So me, I created a passion, or I obtained a passion of speaking, right? Of public speaking, helping people. Now I'm very good at social media. I'm very good at talking to the camera. Most of these videos are one take. I don't have to think about it. I just get a topic and I go ahead and talk about it. It's very simple for me now. It's very easy for me now. But to go back to the point, right, it was very hard for me to, go out there and get out of my comfort zone and public speak. And I remember I was told to just do it, right? My brother was kind of pushing me into that position to just go ahead and do it, right? So I didn't turn it down, and I memorized everything I had to say, which none of that came out in the order I wanted it to come out. But, I prepared myself. I drank a little energy drink, and I got up there, and I spoke in front of 20, 30 people, and it probably wasn't the best. I was probably just trying to go through memorizations and stuff, but it was a learning experience. It was a growth experience. And after that day, I grew significantly. I grew because of that uncomfortability. 99% of people would have said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not speaking. I'm not going to go and even attempt that. But the issue is with that is that if you don't even attempt that first try is going to be the worst. It's going to be the hardest. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be the most uncomfortable. Whether it's for anything, it could literally be anything. Business, trading, public speaking, your first time talking to the camera, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful, right? But if you try, and we're humans, we all learn the same way. We're all humans, right? We're all going to learn the same way. If you do something over and over again, you're going to naturally get better at it and naturally understand how it works and naturally feel more comfortable with it because you're doing it, right? It's the same thing, guys, with riding a bike. When we were kids, right? I hope you guys had the experience of riding a bike. If not, I don't know what. I'm sorry. I'm assuming 90% of people have ridden a bike or knew how to ride a bike. And if they didn't, it's because they never tried. And I feel like at that point, you're already set up with the wrong mindset. But if you had parents that actually pushed you to learn something and pushed you to ride the bike, you remember your first time riding a bike, you were scared shitless. You're like, holy shit, how am I supposed to ride on two bikes or two wheels, right? First, you got the training wheels on, then you're riding and you got your mom or your dad holding on to it. And then after that first initial let go, and they push you to finish riding the bike yourself, then, some people might fall or whatever. But for the most part, that is the biggest growth right there. When you're your first time riding that bike, that's the biggest growth. Right? Because then after, you're like, holy shit, I could do it. It's actually not that hard. Actually, it was all in my head to begin with. And now here I am riding a bike. And then the second time is easier. And then after the third time, you could go ride your bike by yourself. You don't even need help. You could just go do it. I bet most of you, that's probably the most relatable story for every viewer here, whether you guys are entrepreneurs, 9-to-5ers, just starting, never done anything like this before. That's probably the most relatable story right there, is the bike story, right? And again, it could be for anything. It could be for swimming, anything. So, for example, for me, my biggest growth was when I was pushed into doing public speaking. And then I'm over here doing events with hundreds of people, right? There's events, there's videos and pictures of me, which I got to post more. I don't really want to post them on my feed, but I might throw them on my story or something. But there's pictures and videos of me doing public speaking events in front of hotel rooms, in front of huge classrooms, in front of, conference centers, hundreds. Probably the biggest I ever spoke of was probably 500 plus people. I've been in front of 10,000 plus. I didn't speak at that event necessarily, but the biggest I ever actually spoke in front of was like 500 plus, and I could probably show you guys that as well. And doing that, obviously going from 20 people to 100 people is way different. But after I kept doing event after event after event after event, and I knew what I was talking about, and I gained that confidence and understanding that every speaker is just like you. Every person that's doing it is just like you. They're just making it happen, and they just tried more to get there. Then it becomes so much easier. It becomes way less nerve-wracking. It becomes way less uncomfortable, and you start to become comfortable, right? You start to become comfortable with actually going out there and doing that task, right? So public speaking, etc. That was the biggest thing for me. So, guys, it could be for anything. I feel like it comes to the same thing with talking to girls. Like, if you never talk to a girl, you could be. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you don't know how to approach a girl, you still don't know how to approach a girl to this day. You still don't know. You still have that same feeling. But if you just go and do it once, then you do it twice, and you do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, then it becomes easy, right, to do that, right? Man, I'm talking to you. But that's for anything, right? You go to the gym, you feel mad uncomfortable. You can't even wear a tank top because you feel like, why are people looking at me? Then you try to pick up a weight and you start doing the exercises and you're like, oh, I feel weird doing this. I don't feel comfortable doing this. And then after you keep doing it for a month or 2 months, then you start to get kind of good at it. You kind of know what you're doing, right? You kind of feel some results. You feel good. You feel better. You look better. Then you start getting more comfortable with it, and then you just keep going, right? So, guys, I mean, again, it could be for the gym. It could be for business. My biggest story would be for you guys mine is for public speaking. I do have to post some old videos of myself of doing public speaking because that was huge. Public speaking, I did events in front of like 500 people, 200 people, 300 people, like full on trainings. It was great all around. I probably spoke like 20 or 30 times on stage. It was fantastic. But yeah, guys, so, growth is uncomfortable, and, successful people naturally want to seek discomfort. I knew if I wanted to become successful, if I wanted to be a millionaire, I had to go and do these things. I knew even when I was 19 years old, my first time doing it, 18 years old, I knew I have to get out of my comfort zone. I have to just learn this shit. I just got to do it. And at the end of the tunnel, the end of the storm, it's going to look good. It's going to be good. It's going to be better. Right? You don't stop in the middle of the storm. Right? If you stop in the middle of the storm, then you're going to be in the storm longer than if you just drove past it. So, seek seek uncomfortability, seek being uncomfortable. Uncomfortability, I don't even know if that's a word. Seek being uncomfortable in anything. Be uncomfortable, have some confidence. If you need help with confidence, or you have social anxiety, or you have whatever type of anxiety or stress, learn on how to overcome that. Learn on how to fix that. Right, guys, I had social anxiety as a kid. Right, there was times, I know a lot of people actually go through this though. There were times where in like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, I couldn't even eat breakfast because every time I ate breakfast, I would throw up, and I would throw up stomach acid with it every morning because I just had this anxiety about going to a certain class. I had this anxiety about sitting at a certain class. There was one time, TMI, but there was one time I was in class and I literally threw up in class. I literally asked the teacher, I was like, yo, can I go? She was like, no. I was like, all right. You threw up all over the rug, bro. I was like, fuck you. But I actually had crazy social anxiety, so I don't know. I'm trying to think of like how you're able to overcome social anxiety. I think it's just, doing it, getting outside your comfort zone, and then also maybe, honestly, I mean, knowing when you're in the wrong spot too. Knowing when you're in the wrong place. You're not a tree, guys. Just move. If you're not in the wrong place, you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel. Well, maybe that might counteract what the whole video. But if you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel like you're in the right spot, then move. Right. But also, understand that if you need to do that, you got to figure out a way to overcome that social anxiety. Figure out a way to overcome all of that. I feel like social anxiety is just something that anyone and everyone could overcome at some point. Because I did have it. Now it's way less. I feel like there's still times where I get that, but like it's way less now. So if you have social anxiety, I feel like the best thing is just attacking that head on. And if you fail, you fail. If you pass out, you pass out. But I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. And it's all mindset. So do your personal development. I still got to do that video on DMOs, but do your personal development, develop your mindset, grow your mindset, figure out how successful people think, figure out how the world works, read some books, and grow your mindset because a strong mentality will overcome anything. So with that being said, guys, happy Monday. We just got back from a chest day, so hopefully this video will be up by tonight. Catch you guys at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. All right, peace.